Well, with today's 1.25% rise, the All Ordinaries has got back in 6 days, about half what was lost in the first 6 days of August. Telstra is now at its highest price for a year. Fairfax has clambered back above 80 cents. Investors obviously approve of what Qantas is doing. Its shares are up more than 3% today. And Boral fell 5% after agreeing to pay $530 million for the other half of an Asian plasterboard company. Stocks on Wall Street fell last night because of some weaker than expected GDP growth out of Europe, although you'd think they'd be happy to get some growth at all. European shares fell for the same reason. Japan traded lower this afternoon, but the Hong Kong market had a bit of a run. Commodity markets saw gold and base metals go up, but the West Texas Intermediate oil price fell again. And on that subject, here's a good question sent in by a viewer. How come the petrol price isn't falling as much as oil? The answer from RBS is that the Tapis crude price in Malaysia is not falling as much as WTI at the moment. For some reason, a gap has opened up between Malaysian crude oil and the other stuff. And it's our misfortune to have petrol prices tied to Tapis. The Aussie dollar continued to creep higher against the US dollar, nothing like the huge moves we saw last week. There was a small morsel of economic data today, the quarterly wages index, broadly as expected. Interesting though that including bonuses, the rise was much smaller, so obviously bonuses have been cut. Finally, there's a lot of talk about productivity at the moment. Here's a chart that compares us with America, that is, Australian productivity as a percentage of US productivity. Now, it's always been less, but it did get up to 92%, and for the past 12 years has been falling steadily. And that's finance.